to tell you mostly about the notion that I was studying, this subject position on learning activity, and a little bit about what I was studying in my thesis, or how do you say thesis. I'm going to tell you first about the reflective activity approach, which is an approach to helping children to overcome learning difficulties and promote their development. By Vygotsky, that one step in learning can mean 100 steps in development. So the main principles that the reflective activity approach took from Vygotsky's theory is that first, learning leads development. Second, that development occurs in the course of active activity as a subject. Active activity sounds a little funny in English. In Russian, it doesn't, because it's two different words. Active and деятельность. Then there's the collaboration with an adult, with transferring the cultural historical experience. Then the principle that the joint activity must take place in the ZPD, and a very important principle is that development of a child does not only involve the mastery of the learning material. Much more important is that it means a wide range of cognitive and personality changes that happen in course of learning activity. To the next slide. So this reflective activity approach, RAA, it lies across two sections, psychology and pedagogy, right? Okay, the specific of this approach is first that the work with the client, with the child, is going on within the framework of a certain activity, solving some certain problems in the learning activity, some difficulties. The second principle is the client, the child, is used as a subject who wills to solve his or her own problems. So the client is not given any ready-made methods and recipes and answers. And the absolute value of the approach is the full range development of the client, which means qualitative change in personality. Any problematic situation in learning activity is viewed as a potential source of development. And on the other side, every personal problem of a child reflects in learning activity. So, for example, lack of motivation, fears, psychological traumas, they all reflect in learning activity. There's this notion, this concept that I was studying, subject position on learning activity. So the definition is a child's ability to take an active position in relation to his, her own problems, to define, guide, and regulate the activity to solve them. And the two main characteristics of subject position is that it is active, and at the same time it is not just active but conscious. It means that it has reflection, the process of reflection that helps the child to develop new ways of solving his problems in case of when the old ways don't work. And so the development occurs as the result of this process. In a reflexive activity approach, subject position is viewed as opposed to object position. So object position is the position of traditional pedagogy, where teacher is the subject and the student is an object that passively takes the wisdom of the teacher. In this approach, child is a subject. That means that the child just not the child has his own intention. He or she does not just do what they are told. It means they have their own meaning in doing the learning activity. And also, as studies show, that the child with a subject position not only has the meaning why they do that, but they also enjoy the process of doing the activity. So, this important conclusion is that the subject position to learning activity is a resource, that's a key word for us, that helps promote development in many directions in course of conducting the activity. So, the question of my master's thesis was to compare, to relate the subject position on learning activity as a resource to other psychological resources, and also to other psychological constructs that reflect problem situations and reactions on problem situations. So I was viewing psychological resources of personality, and I was viewing symptoms of emotional disadaptation, anxiety, depression. And my research, it was quantitative. I had two groups, high school students and university students. And there is this questionnaire, this scale that allowed me to measure subject position on learning activity. I was viewing the correlation, the link between the subject position and other constructs. So there's self-efficacy by Albert Bandura, which means the belief of a person in their ability to succeed in specific situations. So it was quite strongly correlated with the subject position, which means that children or high school students or university students with subject position, they believe that they can succeed in what they do. So then there was hardiness, which is another psychological concept that reflects the attitudes of a person that provide the courage and motivation needed to turn stressful circumstances from potential calamities into opportunities for personal growth. So there's three components of hardiness: commitment, control, and challenge. And the subject position relates to all three of them. And here I have only the number for the whole construct of hardiness. So this means that students with a subject position, they have a higher hardiness. Thank you. And the hardiness is a notion across the whole personal life of a person. It means that it doesn't reflect only learning activity. It means that the child who is subject on learning activity, he would also take some stressful situations in his life as opportunities for personal growth. And there was also optimism, dispositional optimism, that is a global expectation that more good things than bad will happen in the future, and it showed a significant correlation with subject position in high school students, and for some reason it didn't show correlation for university students, which could be discussed later. So, overall, I viewed the general meaningfulness of life, and it also is related to subject position on learning. So, the children who who are subject to learning activity, they also have a higher general meaningfulness of life, and also locus of control self, which means they view themselves as a strong personality who can influence their own life, control their own life. And also they're more satisfied with their lives, and they're more happy. And also there was some correlation with coping strategies. So overall, when the children with subject positional learning meet some stressful situations in their lives, they're more likely to positively reinterpret them, to cope actively, and to plan coping. And they're much less likely to hide from the situation, to do nothing. And also there was this result that high school students with subject positional learning, they have less symptoms of depression and less symptoms of anxiety in girls. And also there was this interesting and unexpected results that students with subject positional learning activity, they have higher anxiety than the students with less subject position. So, this was just the first step. My master's thesis was just the first step of establishing those correlations. It was just a correlational study, so I cannot talk about cause-effect relationship. We cannot say that for sure that subject position was the cause of children, for example, not having depression. But that is anyway our, well, we believe it's true. Yes, and this is the research perspective, that the subject positional learning activity being a resource for a child to develop in many different directions, it allows them to develop other different important psychological resources and deal better with stressful situations. So the research perspectives are longitudinal studies on the dynamics of subject position and other resources, and the predictive role of subject position. So can we say that if the child is in subject position to learn activity, then he or she can have other resources. And also the development of subject position and the dynamic of other indicators in the process of counseling in reflective activity approach. Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations for finishing. You were very brave. If I was the one who had submitted 3 days ago, I would be on holidays.
That's all.
On your right.
That's all.
Все. вопросов, нет вопросов.
Okay, so any other comments, ideas? Okay, thank you very much.